Good anytime, my fuzzy and welcome to a quick review of Medal of Honor European Assault. Uh, yeah, it's a war game, so this should be interesting. First up, the story. Again, it's a war game. The story is basically, hey, here, or I guess a lot of games are, hey, here's your point. Do this along the way. Have fun, or do your best. So one thing I do like is having either a veteran, an actual veteran, or an actor portraying a veteran talk in the beginning about war and how it is awful and whatnot, and they're not glamorizing it in any way, but it was a necessary thing to do to stop a very evil time in our planet's history, and hopefully we never have that again. But overall, with it yeah, like I said, it's a war game. The war games are more or less just, hey, go there, do this, hey, go there, do that. Finish up, okay, good, we're going to the next area. So the one thing I did like for the story is there was side missions that you don't really need to do the side missions, but they were there to give you medals and whatnot. So there was an incentive to go farther and complete the whole story by doing those missions. But I say it's about a 3.5, unfortunately. 4. Because the veteran brought it up, but it's 3.5. It's generic. I gotta get better with my ratings. It's generic. The having side quests brings it up, and having the veteran there talking about war and the travesties of it and whatnot bumped it up. Characters, it you don't really meet anyone which is weird. You have Holt, who is the main character, but like the commanders always change, the people you're fighting with always change, and they are very much, aye, we're war, let's do it, war, fight for this, fight for that. Um, but yeah, besides Holt, who did have personality going through and whatnot, but it's again basic war personality of what's going on and whatnot. Again, I'll probably give another 3.5 because he did get the perspective of Holt as an older gentleman, as he uh, reliving those days in his mind and talking about it and then going through it. But yeah, and every other character were just, yeah, fight for our country. Woo, go for it. Which isn't bad. We should fight for our country and want our country to be good and whatnot. And with this, how it is, you either fight for your country or your country gets destroyed and evil, a very dark evil, reigns the world. But yeah, 3.5 for characters. Holt and veteran Holt brought it forward and whatnot. And yeah. Gameplay, it's a war game. I did like how you had every area you started off with, every mission you usually started off with new guns, so you got to test out a lot of the guns in the missions, and then there was a lot in the missions to find that you could use as well. But overall, it's generic war games. Weird controls, but the controls weren't out there to make me go, ugh, no. They were just weird. But some guns could not reload. A lot of the snipers, for some reason, could not reload, which is weird to me. So I'm going to give it a 3, because it was passable. You just kind of went, shot, ducked, went, and whatnot. The game thing was, the new guns every turn was different than most games. Just start you out with nothing, or you start in a room with stuff. But yeah, just 3 for that. The environments were nice and varied. You started off on a port. Then you went into like a refinery type of area. Then you went to more docks and the uh, electric grid took that down. Then you moved on to North Africa, and you fought in some places there, out in the desert, and then you went into like an underground bunker and facility. Russia, you were. What did we do there? We were approaching a town and church to take that, and then we were taking over a hill where we were heavily outnumbered and shot at. And then finally, we had Regassant, getting information from our spy, which we got ambushed and had to run away, and then meet up in an area. Then we had to go save them from a farmhouse, and then at last we had to take over the bunker. So the areas are very varied and nice. The enemies change costumes as well, which is interesting for the area. Usually it would just be the enemies all look the same in a lot of these games at this time. But yeah, with the locations, all of them being very varied, I'm going to give it a 4.5. Because they're very varied. They were all unique. And yeah, there's just a lot to do in those locations. Overall, I'm going to give this game the 3.5. Because a lot of it, adds a little bit more to it, but it's very much generic with a little bit of taste to it. But that's my rating. That's how I do things. So 4.5. I do like this game a lot, and I'll have to play it later on with some friends and whatnot, because this was a good nostalgia game that I liked to play when I was younger. This was my Halo, kind of, because I didn't have internet, and Halo. Back when that was a thing. So this is what I played with my friends fighting gun game wise. But anyways, that's going to be it for a quick review. Thank you all my Puzzleites if you watched this. I hope you enjoyed the game as much as I did. Besides the last mission being completely BS. But anyways, take care. Take care and have a good anytime.